welcome to the Greater Purpose Health and Fitness Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Schnard. And today, again, by popular demand, I have Jilisa, my wife, and nutrition coach and transformation coach, and all good things with me today. Hi, Jay.
Hi. I like that. I'm all the good things.
All the good things. Today, Jilisa notified me that we're going to be talking about nutrition coaching. So I'm going to just let her go with it. Your first out of 10 tips you have for clients looking for nutrition coaches, or what they should be looking for in nutrition coaches.
Yeah. Okay. So my first one is that they should genuinely care for you as a person. So you shouldn't just feel like a number or just like a client. They should genuinely care about your success and about you reaching the goals that are important to you. And I think that comes into play in that one-on-one relationship that you develop with your coach. So you should know that they care about you. They should care about more than just what the scale is saying, or whether or not you're doing exactly what they say, but asking you how you are as a human. I really think that that's an important part of a coach-client relationship, regardless if it's nutrition coaching or say personal training or whatever kind of coaching. I just think you should feel genuinely cared for by your coach.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought you would.
Number two.
They should celebrate your wins with you, and not just the wins on the scale. So they should be able to recognize wins outside of, say, numbers, or I think that's the easiest one to give as an example, but to be able to help you pick out small things that you can celebrate along the way. Because if you're someone who's done nutrition before or any lifestyle change kind of a program, you'll know that it's challenging. Like, it's not an easy thing. So they should be able to point you in the direction of like being able to celebrate small wins along the way, even if it's like as simple as like, hey, you ate breakfast for 4 days in a row, and before we started you never ate breakfast, so that's awesome. And just small things like that to kind of keep the client on track of like seeing small improvements along the way.
So celebrating the effort, not just little milestones. Like you said, it's important to celebrate. Hey, you lost 10 pounds on your goal to X amount, but also we're celebrating the effort that we know it took to get there.
Yeah.
And the discipline.
Yeah, absolutely. Number 3 is your coach should know their own limits. So if maybe you are a client that has some, like, a lot of chronic disease or some factors, your coach should know whether or not they can actually help you. So they should be willing to refer out or ask for help, or just make sure that they are the right person to be helping you with whatever kinds of things that you're dealing with. So I think that's a really important one of knowing their limits, but also be willing to work in an interdisciplinary kind of a relationship. So even if that means like, I can help you with these habits, but you need to see someone else about this issue, or that kind of a thing. I think it's really important to feel like you are supported and know that your coach also knows their limits and can kind of put you in the right direction of other people that might be able to help you with other areas of your life that maybe you're struggling with, or that you could use some improving in.
Yeah. And I want to add something to that. I think because we're talking about chronic illness now, that's an epidemic in itself. And it's shown by studies that these are caused from poor lifestyle choices and nutrition choices over time. So we are the very people that should be helping with habit and lifestyle changes. We can't help specifically give medications or talk about that stuff, but it's just like not everyone needs physiotherapy. if they're in pain. We can't treat the injury, right? If they have a broken leg, please go see someone. If you have an acute injury, please go see someone. But if you're suffering from lower back pain that is not symptomatic in a dangerous way, strengthening and lengthening can actually help and de-stressing the body. So that's what we pride ourselves in at the gym is we are expert coaches, which means that we take the whole person in mind and not just saying they have a chronic disease, because we're not treating the chronic disease. We're treating everything around it that manifested into this disease in the first place, or illness rather.
Yeah, I think, yeah, totally. I think this one like applies to any kind of coaching. I think any professional coach knows that most people might need more than one kind of a health practitioner to help them to be their best, or at one point or another, or maybe not, but just to have like the humility to admit, like, I actually can't help you with this area, but I know this person, this is their specialty, and they would really be able to help you. So I think, yeah, just knowing their limits is an important part of any successful coach.
Know what you don't know.
Yeah. And that ties into my next one really well. I think number 4, maybe. Yeah. Is your coach should address holistic lifestyle factors. So when you go for your first meeting, you should be asked about more than just what you eat. Because as everybody should know, nutrition has so much more to do with, or so much more than just what you put in your mouth. Things like sleep, stress, fatigue, planning, prepping, your environment, your family, your work, all of those things play such a big part of if and how you're able to have healthy nutrition. So you should have a coach that is asking you about all those things and tying those pieces together and kind of formulating a plan that includes all of those things.
Yes.
You agree?
Yes, I agree.
I know you like.
Well, there you have the flywheel right behind you. I can
I,
see on your
I
right
was
shoulder.
just gonna say, I feel like you're gonna jump all over this because you love the flywheel, the
Yeah,
holistic
it's
flywheel.
the flywheel. Really quickly, think of it like a bank account. You have 5 different accounts to invest in. You have
Mhm.
spiritual, you have your purpose, you have physical, you have mental, and then you have, oh no, connection, like community aspect.
Yeah, yeah.
And that all plays into your health, or the opposite of health is sickness, right? So it's about investing in all different categories and different parts of your life. You're going to be investing more and have to pull back a little bit from different areas in order to be holistically healthy and fit,
Mm.
because perfect balance is not a thing. You have to get out of balance to be in balance for a moment. And then you'll probably have to get out of balance again to be in balance.
Yeah, that's good. Um, Number 5 is your coach should lead by example. I truly believe this. I think that it's important for, I mean, if I was hiring a coach, I would want them to be an example of what they're telling me. And that doesn't mean that that person is going to be perfect. But I think that's part of it too, of just like lead by example, but also be willing to like show that you're also a human. So, eating healthy most of the time, but also showing that, like, hey, I'm also a human and I really enjoy sweets. And I think it's important to like have that human factor. So I think, yeah, I just think that any coach, if you're going to help your clients, I think leading by example is a really important part of that, and just showing how I think it comes off best when you can tell that what that person is coaching is also an important aspect of their own life and health and such.
Yes. It's not about
Yes.
do what I say and not what I
Yeah.
do. It's about do what I'm doing and then understand that I'm a human too, like you said.
Yeah. Yeah. I think showing both sides of like, look, I work hard at this too, but also, look, I also enjoy the good things in life, like pizza, shows shows clients that, oh, okay, so you do understand what I'm going through, and you understand that it's hard not to just, throw caution to the wind and eat whatever is handy most of the time. I think that's really helpful when you're looking for a coach too.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I think this applies to any coach too, but I think a successful nutrition coach is someone who is willing to continually learn. So if they don't know something, or if something comes up that they're not familiar with, say, I'm actually not sure, but I'm going to find out for you and I'll get back to you on that. I think that's really valuable in terms of nutrition, and in terms of, again, any kind of coaching, is just knowing what you don't know, but then actually putting the work in to find out, and using credible resources to do that. So knowing where to look for those answers,
Mhm.
I think that's an important part of being a good coach as well.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Um, where am I? Sorry, I'm just looking at my list. Okay. I think this is maybe just something that is kind of close to my heart, because I have heard this from clients before, of past experiences. And I'm not saying this to cause anything, but I think a coach should never be someone who's going to judge you or cause you to feel guilty or shameful. I think they should be there to work alongside of you and help you in those areas, and not make you feel bad if you maybe struggle with something. I think it's important to have the skills to be able to say, like, hey, that maybe wasn't the best choice, but let's figure out a way that we can do a little bit better next time, without saying, like, I can't believe you did that. Or like, how could you possibly, and that kind of thing. You should never feel like you're failing. And I think that's a really big part of, like, fear of failure is such a big part of nutrition that I think so many clients struggle with. So making sure that it's an encouraging yet challenging experience, because coddling is also not going to help you have a successful experience with nutrition coaching. So finding that balance between, like, making someone feel bad for their choices versus, like, always saying, like, oh, it's okay, don't worry about it. I think that's a really valuable thing in a coach.
Yeah. It's about being able to speak truth in someone's life. Um,
Yes. What do
and
you always say? Like, speak loving truth or
speak
something?
loving truth, or build relationships that can withstand with loving truth. So if I didn't know you and you're eating cake 3 times a day and I said, don't do that, like, are you crazy? That's not good for your health. It's probably not going to come off very well. And the intent behind that is not like, what am I doing in that situation? What I think is going to happen if I don't know you. But if I
Yeah.
know you, I've built a relationship, and I come up to you and say, hey, I think maybe cake 3 times a day isn't the best thing for you in terms of where you want to be.
Yeah.
And that's where a good coach as well, like to tack onto that, asks questions.
Mhm.
So your coach should be asking more questions than they are talking, because a good coach, a good mentor, a good leader helps you understand yourself, but also helps themselves understand you. So if I was your coach right now, I need to ask questions so I can understand where you're coming from, but I need to ask leading questions and be curious so that you understand and you come to the realization on your own, because it's way more powerful when we come to the realization on our own than hearing it from someone else's perspective or view, worldview.
Mhm. Yes.
Yes.
Agreed. Yep. I think that also ties into my next one, and I have no idea what number we're on anymore, so
21.
that's fine. A good coach should also be able to tell you whether or not you're actually a good fit for their program. So if someone comes in and I know I can't help them, I think it's so valuable for me to just say that, and say, like, I don't think this is the right thing for you, but how about try this and then let me know how that goes, and maybe we can revisit this. Or I think what you need is actually this. And if a coach just sees every person as, like, this sounds bad, but like as dollar signs, or like someone who's going to pay them for their services. It's unfortunate because then people get, the more bad experiences they have, the more it turns them away from even wanting to get healthy. And that just like breaks my heart. So I think it's really valuable to have the ability to say, I don't think you're ready for this right now, but try this first, or maybe start here, and then you'll get support there. So I think, yeah, just knowing how to be able to say that, and then also still to be able to give them a starting place is really, really important.
Yeah. So is that from the client's view or the coach's view?
Both, I think.
Both.
With the client, I think, like I said, like if even if you know they're not the right fit, but you sign them up anyways, and then they end up having a bad experience, that ends up being like another could end up being like another taste of failure for that person. And if that just like turns them off from wanting to improve their nutrition or their health, then that's a really challenging thing. And I mean, from a coaching perspective, that would be frustrating too if you take on clients that aren't ready for the program, or who you know aren't necessarily going to be a good fit. Then that's a lot of work put into something that you knew from the beginning that probably wasn't going to be like you weren't going to help them reach their goals. So being able to say like, I don't think I can help you right now, but sending them away with an actionable step that they can take to start working towards that, I think is valuable and beneficial for both the coach and the client.
Yes. Agreed.
Okay, I'm almost there. Let me look at my list. Oh yeah. Okay, so your nutrition coach should not prescribe a one size fits all approach. Just like you're going to go, let's say, to our group classes, it's not a one size fits all. It's kind of like levels, right? Like everybody starts at a different place. Everybody has been through different things. Every like physical body is different and needs different things. So I think it's important to have coaches who can see that and say like, I think this is what's going to work best for you. Which if I gave that to one client and then gave that to every single other client that came in, some would have great success and some would not. So having an individualized approach and to have the skills to figure out together what each person needs, I think is really valuable in finding a good nutrition coach as well.
Yeah. And I think people will be surprised. It's a lot less about adapting or specializing to a certain food group. That is the case, but it's more so where the person is in their life, the stressors, the time commitment, all these different things. People are so focused on finding the perfect nutrition program, but a perfect nutrition program only works for a perfectly well-rounded program or person, right? So well-rounded program only works for a perfectly well-rounded person, which I don't know. I haven't found anyone there yet, and I'm
Well,
far from that too.
yeah, and if you're a perfectly well-rounded person, you probably don't need nutrition coaching
Yeah,
or any kind of coaching. So
yeah.
I think that is important. Okay, and my last one, I think this is 10. I don't know. Don't count. Who knows? But the last one is your coach should always send you away with actionable steps. So you should always leave your meetings or like if you're following habits or lessons, you should always know what you're working on. So if you leave and it's just like a pat on the back, good job, you're doing awesome, but you don't leave knowing what you're supposed to be working on, or you don't have like specific steps to get to where you're going next, then that's not super helpful. You'll feel really encouraged, but what's next? So yeah, number 10, you should always leave feeling like you know what you're doing next and what those steps look like. So
Yep. And
yep.
someone is rocking out in the gym. Jalisa's at the gym if you guys can't see.
I really thought we would get finished before that started. I'm sorry. It's so loud.
That's okay. So I think
We're
we can
having-
close off on just something that we're really excited about at the gym. We have a new program. It's
Yeah.
basically, so you 168 hours in the week, right? We're so focused on, yes, nutrition, yes, exercise, but what about those habits that build up into the rest of your 165 if you work out 3 hours a week, you still have 165 hours in the week to take care of. So that's what we've developed now is it's a 63-day transformation program. Now, people have been seeing great success externally already, losing weight and feeling better, more energy, but that's not what it's just about. It's about helping the person internally change. So when you help
Yeah.
someone change their mindset, change the internal environment, that external stuff starts to happen. You start to, if your goal is to lose weight, you're going to lose the weight, but you're also going to release it, meaning you're going to keep it off because a lot of times these illnesses, these sicknesses, the pain is there because we're not dealing with the internal part of the person. It's just a byproduct of something else going on, right? So as the coach, so tie this back now is that's what we do is we coach you through this program. We give you nutrition advice. We also give you habits inside your house or outside of the gym. We give you workouts to do and we guide you along this process, and it's been life-changing already for people. So if you are interested in that, please click the link and book a free meeting with us. And like Jilisa said, we're going to check and see if you're a right fit for the program, because it's not like we just want to get as many people into this program. It's about finding the people who are ready to change and are going to actually benefit from this and get change from it.
I feel like you missed the most exciting part about it is that you get to check off boxes. And that's just like a type A person's dream. And you get to like see it all in one beautiful sheet. And every time you do something, you get to check off boxes. And it's just like the most exciting and rewarding and like satisfying thing when you get them all checked off and it's beautiful. Yeah, it's the best.
Yeah. And that goes to complex things becoming simple. So,
Yeah.
so you guys all know, whoever's listening, media and people make it sound way harder and way more confusing than it actually is. If so, if you go through this program with us and you commit to, let's say, 5 habits based around mindset, nutrition, and fitness, and the 5 aspects of the flywheel, you commit to those habits and maintain an 80% success rate throughout the week, which isn't that hard. You just have to commit to it. You're going to find success. But the key piece to this, right? So here are the results everyone wants. Here's where they are. They're frustrated. They're tired. They feel lethargic, no energy. Relationships aren't as good as they could be. And this is where they want to go. There's just simple habits and a coach to walk along beside you to get there. That's what it
Yeah.
is.
I think one of the biggest things to the success that we've had too is just the amount of accountability that's built in. And yeah, like I think it's amazing to break it down into how simple it really is to be successful in not just changing nutrition or not just starting to be active, but all of those things. And it's exciting. It's
Yeah.
super
And
fun.
and when you say accountability, Jaleesa, for people listening, that's not to be
Mm-hmm.
confused with people. We're not going to text you every single day and say you missed this, this, and this. Accountability to us is being a guide.
Yeah.
Accountability is sitting down with you, asking you the questions. What were your struggles? Okay. What were your successes? Let's celebrate those. And then, like you said, it's very important as a coach, we give you actionable items every single time, every single week. That's the accountability part. It's
Yeah.
more of a it's more of a relationship. It's more of a journey together. And that's what we are really excited about is we get to go on a journey with each and every person and see their lives change. Like we've seen people who have been a part of our facility in some way, shape, or form kind of have up and down roller coaster success, already having success and maintaining it, and something they haven't been able to do just because of this new program. So again, don't hesitate to reach out. We love to help you if we can.
And I think that kind of, to summarize, this is
Mm.
like a bonus point, maybe number 11, maybe number 10, because I can't remember what number I was on, but I think the last one of like a successful coach client relationship is you should also always feel like you are finished your coaching relationship feeling like you can still have success on your own. So your coach should set you up to be successful without them. Like as hard as it is when clients finish or like graduate the program, it's like exciting because you know, like, okay, you have the tools, you know what to do now, like go forth and prosper and like do all the good things because you've learned it, you've done it consistently for like not 1 week, not 2 weeks, not a month, but 3 months, maybe even a year. Some have done it for 2 years, however long it takes you to know that you can, like, yeah, I'm good to go. That's like the best feeling of like knowing, cool, you've got it. And now you are like on the right track for life, not just for the next couple weeks and then start over. So that's number 11. You should feel successful at the end.
Air high five. Boom.
Oh,
This has been great. So, yeah.
I'm glad you like talking to me, or we would be in trouble.
What's that?
I said, I'm glad that you like talking to me.
Yes, I do. Definitely like talking to you. It's always a pleasure. It always feels funny to interview or talk with my wife over Zoom when you are
That we
in the
live in the
same house. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're at the gym
like,
right now.
Yeah, I feel actually like that we do better when I'm here because I feel like when I'm at home, I just get distracted. So it's better that I'm here.
Okay. So finish it off. Me and Jilisa will give you one actionable nutrition tip or coaching tip because we always want to give you something. So mine is, to the best of your abilities, try to have protein with every single meal or snack.
Like it. Mine is, excuse me.
Yeah.
I just done my spit. That was rude. Mine is you right this minute go into your phone or your calendar or your old school pen and paper calendar like I use. And if you are the person that preps and plans and grocery shops for your family, you have got to set a meeting or appointment or a time slot with yourself to go to the grocery store, get your healthy food, and actually prep it. Because, like, I would say the number one thing that people are missing is like the actual planning and prepping factor. So they think like, oh yeah, I'm going to eat all these healthy things, but they forget that they actually have to go and get the things and make the things. So every single week you have to have a time slot, just like you would a meeting or just like you would your workout or just like you would going to work. Set a time in your calendar that you are committed to going to do that.
Yes. And if you have a hard time doing that, look into a pre-made food service, which is also part of one of our packages here. So
yeah.
Thank you, Jilisa.
You're welcome, Matt.